Hello everyone, and welcome to the next part of the Color With Me in Daydreams by Hanna Karlzon. Yesterday we did washi tape on this side, and then today I'm going to use my Prismas and do this fish, work on it. And I want to match the colors in this fish over here. So we're going to go with a, look at my colors chart. Do I want indigo or an anthrodone? I think I'm going to go with the anthrodone blue, which is PC208. And I'm going to go with, see if I have a grayish, so like this, slate gray, matches that pretty well, and the celadon green, so let me grab all of those. Might take me a second. Let's see. Where is my 902? Oh, there it is. Wait a minute, that's ultramarine. What in the world? Oh, 208 in Astro. Meanwhile, back at the ranch. Okay, it's supposed to be over here. I think something got put in the wrong spot. 906. Where is my 902? Oh my gosh. Well, I might just have to go with indigo blue because I can't find the. Oh my goodness. It's a 208, not 908. Silly me. Okay. And then I'm getting the slate gray and the jade green, or celadon green, I think, and slate gray on there, and for the rose gold, I'll probably do burnt ochre and terracotta? Not terracotta, henna and burnt ochre. But I'll grab those in a minute. I'm going to start with the blue and the greens. I've got to sharpen these. Wow, I'm so underprepared today. So, I gotta get these sharpened. And I'll probably kind of follow the same, like the blues in here and the rose gold stuff out here. I might incorporate some of the rosier colors inside of the fish as well, if I get desperate, but, excuse me. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna have to dive in. That's what you gotta do sometimes. I'm gonna do these scales. So I had a realization the other day, and I feel so silly that it took me so long to realize this. Let's see. I was looking at my Prismacolor at the number, and it says PC. I've always wondered why, they put PC, other than it's their number that they do, because all the, different pencil brands have a different numbering system, But I realized PC stands for Prismacolor. So, yeah, I just felt so silly because I've owned Prismas for a really long time, and I never realized that's what the PC stood for. So, at least that's comforting to know that if I have a pencil that doesn't outright say Prismacolor on it, but it still has the number on it, I'll know it's Prismacolor. Oh, and happy Easter tomorrow. Yeah, the Easter Bunny came today. I just so our son is only 2, so I didn't want to go too crazy. So we just hid, scattered some jelly beans across the house, and he found most of them pretty quickly, but it was just really fun to see him be excited to find another one. So, let's see, I'm going to color this scale. The nice thing about using a more limited color palette like this, or not really limited, but a designated color palette, so using the same colors from here to here, is you have a better idea of what you want to color what color. Sometimes with stuff that's so detailed like this, I have a really hard time deciding, okay, what color am I gonna make the main color and then other things. So a lot of times when I do something like this, I choose one thing to do. I don't know, I can't explain myself very well. So let me see if I can come up with an example. I just lost all my words. So I guess when there's more elements in a picture than this, I'll choose one element to do background or the focal point, do that first, and then figure out my colors from there. But if I've already figured out my colors somewhere else, then I just reuse some of the colors from the same family, and it works. I feel like fish scales, or just scales, are that thing to color. It's still fun, but you have to, if you want to shade each one, it's just another one, and another one. It gets super repetitive, I guess. Wow. All the words have left my brain. But that's okay. Oh, the weather today is so beautiful. So, when my son gets up from his nap, we'll probably go play outside or go for a walk. One of the two. Because it is perfect. It's not too hot. It's not too chilly. The sun is shining super brightly. And we have a backyard. We didn't have a yard at all until we moved. So it's been super fun just to be able to go out and sit out there and not have to stay right next to his side in case he runs out into the street. Oh no. But he's a super light sleeper and has always been a super light sleeper. Like, he has never been that kid who falls asleep in his car seat and you can transition him somewhere else without him waking up. Never. The slightest little thing can wake him up. And I've, like, tried not to be, like, super quiet, but it is still kind of hard because there aren't any other kids running around, playing around, making noise, or that kind of thing. It's pretty quiet. So, he hasn't really learned how to sleep with, like, normal noise. Plus, so my husband went out to run an errand, and the garage door, he, like, recognizes that noise, and so that can wake him up too. But I totally forgot how I got on that topic. Sleeping has been really weird lately, and so my brain is, like, super foggy because I keep waking up or tossing and turning, I guess, after sleeping for a couple of hours, and then my body has been waking up like an hour earlier than it usually does for some reason, which is actually okay because I'm gonna start waking up early in the morning to get to the gym since I don't really get a chance during the day, and by the time it's the end of the day and he's back in bed, I'm, like, so worn out that I don't have energy to go to the gym, but I need to because it's just, like, a really good thing to be active, I guess. It helps with me being able to exert my stress, or like, not really anxiety, but, like, the built up energy that I have, because even when I'm exhausted, there's, like, this energy. Like, right now I could go sleep for a couple hours if I wanted, but I have all this pent up energy, so I think starting to go back to the gym would help with that and give me more, like, physical energy as well. I don't know how to explain it. Okay, I'm gonna color these and then shade them in. I prefer using polychromos on this paper, but Prismacolor also works pretty well on it. It's just that for so this paper is way different from the other books of Hanna Karlzon's, where it's more, it's like a totally different kind of paper. And so it's a little, like, rougher and the initial touch. But I have noticed when I did my Prismacolors in Magical Dawn, where the paper feels smooth, it was actually grainier. I don't know if that makes sense with the Prismacolors. Like, if you want a smooth result, you would have to do a lot more burnishing. So these do work a little, or they interact differently with this paper in particular, but polychromos work, like, amazingly on the paper in this book. of it with my Celadon Green. And hopefully we can get pretty far. I don't want to spend like more than a week on this series, because I want to do other videos too. Like I have some happy mail coming in, but I think should be able to. So we've been watching Doctor Who, and we're on, what season are we on? They just changed Doctor, so it's the 8th or 9th Doctor now. He's the older guy. But it's kind of interesting to be able to watch it all in, you know, instead of seeing the initial seasons right when they come out, we can watch them all at once. And so it's kind of been interesting and fun to see the evolution of the storyline style and the acting styles of all the different doctors and the filming styles. I feel like they've gotten like a lot more into like scarier or creepier kind of alien intelligence versus, you know, when they decided to bring Doctor Who back with the 6th Doctor and Rose, or is it the 5th Doctor? The 5th Doctor and Rose. It was a lot more like showing all these different kinds of aliens, and I feel like they've kind of, like, they still introduce new alien life, but a lot of the antagonists, I guess, are more cunning and subtle versus, you know, like the Daleks were rehashed a lot in those first seasons with Exterminate and stuff. Okay, so there's that. Let's see here. I think I'm gonna do dark blue, and I'm gonna leave some white in because there's white, but I don't know where yet. So I'm just gonna put in some of the dark blue and go from there. But in my own time, I have been watching some Korean dramas, because, well, I'm a little, I don't know if passionate or obsessed is which one is the better word to use, because, yeah, I'm never gonna stop watching them. I'm trying to think. Touch Your Heart, I think is what it's called. It's so cute so far. So I've been watching that on Viki, but I've been really trying to savor that because it is just like really well done, and so I want to make it last as long as possible because it's so cute. And then I've been watching one called Welcome to Waikiki, and it's, I'm watching the second season. I watched the first one when drama fever still was a thing that existed. And it was really funny. So I'm watching the second one, and it's still really funny, but it's definitely not the same as the first season. But they still have some really laugh out loud. What's the word? Oh man, what is the word? Adventures. There we go. Ooh, this is gonna be pretty. Okay. I feel like I sit back and look at what I'm doing a lot. And I think that's just a habit that I started from, well, a little bit of college and sorry, I said that wrong. A little bit of high school and a lot in college, because when you're drawing something or painting something, it's good to like, look at the whole of it a lot. So you make sure that you're drawing everything in proportion, painting things the way that you want to, and so I do that a lot when I color, subconsciously, and so I think that's one reason why it takes me a little longer sometimes, is I'm like sitting back and looking at it for a minute, even though I already know that it's gonna look okay with all these blue lines, or with all the elements that I'm coloring in. See there, I did it again. I didn't mean to. Okay. So, um, wow. Okay. Let's figure out where to color next. Okay, so I think I want to make these Celadon gray/gray. So I'm gonna color this and then color that, and possibly leave those elements white. And then then I'll probably do this blue as well. So hopefully, I probably should speed up coloring, but I wanted to show this in real time, because I feel like, when I've watched speed colors of things, they're really nice to watch because you can see the whole and the process a lot faster, but then I expect myself to be able to get those amazing results that they get just as fast. But I think someone who's actually super fast in real time is Dee Dee. She is just so prolific and fast when she does colorings. Like, she can sit down and pretty much complete a coloring page in like a 3-hour live stream, and that same picture would take me like 3 days to do. So I need to learn some skills from her, though it is good that I take my time too, because yeah, but I think it just comes with practice. and all that. But it's funny because she like say, oh yeah, I did this quick sketch last night, because she shows her sketchbooks, and I look at what she did and was like, wow, yeah, that would take me, well, you know, I consider myself a pretty okay speed when it comes to drawing, but the results that she gets and the time that she says she spends on it is like, wow, I just need to keep practicing. But she's like a lot older, so it just makes more sense that she's got that skill. She's been practicing it for longer. Or like Heather Valentin, coloring book artist. She is very prolific as well. Like she can put out a lot of books, but it's because she's been drawing for a very long time. And so I keep telling myself, okay, if you keep drawing, then you can be able to put out just as many books as someone like Heather Valentin or Selena Fennick, or even Hanna Karlzon, because I think she put out 6 books within just a few years. Because this is 2016. 2015, I think, is when she published it. So, and the amount of illustrations that she has in each book is pretty substantial. So, I think just like prioritizing and dedicating time, practicing, you can get faster, and the same comes to coloring. If you spend more time doing it, it becomes more natural to know what color choices you're gonna make, and you better understand your tools that you're using so you can utilize them better, and all that. Oh, but super random tangent. So on one of Dee Dee's live streams, she was talking about how she has a book with faces. She painted like acrylic, and so I thought that was a super fun idea. So I started, I found this book. So I have an Etsy store where I make handmade books. This is one that was out of stock, and it's like a little sticky, so I don't feel comfortable selling it. So I thought I would make my own Facebook, and I started painting acrylic on these pages, and eventually, once I get them all in, then you just like do a quick silly face, and then you go back later and add detail and stuff. And it was really fun looking, and I thought that would be just a fun way to practice drawing and stuff. But that was a super random tangent. My brain just like jumps from one thing to another thing to another thing. Okay, so I'm gonna sharpen this just because I'm trying to get in these nooks and crannies, and the tip is too blunt to really do that. There we go. That's so much better. Oh my goodness. So much better. But yeah, so I guess what I'm trying to say is we shouldn't feel discouraged if we can't complete as many paintings or drawings or coloring pages as another person, because maybe they have more time to just sit down and do it straight, or they have a lot more experience in process and stuff. Because some people I see, they can do like 15 coloring pages in a month. Like, I don't even know if I've done that many ever, but I still think that I do enough. I'm wondering if I should have done that in a different color, because that kind of blends in. It's okay. No one will know that it was a mistake to do except for me and you watching this. But I really like, you know, 'cause sometimes I feel like we focus when we're, you know, creating something or doing something crafty, we notice the mistakes that we make, but other people don't. And there was this professor that I had in college that said, if you made it a mistake and somebody likes it, you don't have to tell them it was a mistake. Just remember it as a happy accident. Because, you know, if the person you make it for doesn't think that there's anything wrong with it, like if I made a mistake and put the wrong color somewhere, if it was obvious and they noticed, but if it was only me who thought that was a mistake, then it's okay not to say you made a mistake there, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And I feel like that's just rambling now, but that's okay. My brain, let's talk about this, my thought process, and I bet a lot of women will agree with this. There's like that meme that shows a female mind, and it has like 25 tabs open in an Internet Explorer. So yeah, there's like a million things going on in my head, but the way that my thought process works is in my head, I'll be talking about one thing, and that subject will remind me of something else, which will remind me of something else. That'll remind me of something else, and then I'll talk about that something else without explaining the process of how that topic got to the initial topic. And so sometimes I come across as confusing because I'm like talking about one thing and then all of a sudden I'm talking about this other thing that to my brain makes sense to the conversation because the way that my thought process worked, it brought me there and it makes sense, but the person listening might not know how I got there because I don't always do the backstory because sometimes I don't even remember myself or it's really long. Wow, I could just go take a snooze. I'm so droopy-eyed. Wow. My eyes are just like drooping. Okay. Nice. Okay, let's make a switch. Let's go, let us do some of this. I'm gonna do these like little things. Color these in. I think this will be really pretty when it's finished. So, yeah. I was never really a believer in making a color swatch chart until I really started getting interested in coloring, and because well, I didn't really have a lot of things that I needed to swatch prior to my interest, just because I had Prisma, 24 set of Prismacolors, and then a bunch of open stock colors that I bought, and I was familiar enough with those particular colors that I knew what color I would get without having to look, swatch it. But then I got the 150 set, and it's definitely super nice to have a swatch chart for that, because oh, sorry, my pencil snagged the camera stand. Because the barrels, they're pretty good, and looking at the lead is pretty accurate, but if I want a dark blue, there's a more saturated dark blue and a more neutral dark blue, but you can't really tell that from just looking at the barrel. So I'm really glad I decided to swatch them. Wow, sorry, I am so lethargic all of a sudden. It is post lunchtime, and yeah. So yeah, this is I feel like there's less wax bloom on this paper with the Prismacolors though, and I just realized that I'm not getting as much of the waxiness from this paper as I've gotten from stuff like the Magical Dawn Hanna Karlzon book, where the paper's different. It got super waxy really fast. So I think just absorbs or goes on differently on this paper or something. Oh man, I should have grabbed some water. I'm talking for almost an hour straight. Well, more like 40 minutes. 30 minutes? 30 minutes. It felt like an hour. Oh man. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna do this. No. This. I'm gonna do that. Do a darker blue. And then put the gray on top. To create a different color that I don't have available. Let's try this baby out. Oh yeah, that's a pretty color combo. I like that. Ooh, yes. That is awesome. That is so awesome. Yeah, there's no way that I'm gonna get the blue part of the body finished today with the time allotment that I have available for myself. Okay. seems like my son is awake, so I will color this part in really fast, and we will get back coloring this on Monday because tomorrow is Sunday, and we are going to be busy going to church and going to family's house for dinner, and sleeping no, just kidding. Just taking a laid back day, but I will definitely try to film the next part of this color with me on Monday. And hopefully we'll be able to finish the blue part on Monday and move on to the body. Or not the body, the fins. The fins. Oh man. Mom brain. Okay, there we go. So it's the last part I was gonna do. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, and I hope to see you next time. Happy coloring!